Well, spit in my mouth and call me Tiana, because today we're making beignets. Hello and welcome to the next Around the World in 8 Dishes, where today I'm doing beignet. Really excited because it's the first sweet dessert thing I've got going on this. In terms of, I guess, the theme of Around the World in 8 Dishes, we're doing New Orleans, Louisiana, US. Traditionally, beignets were French, but the French district of New Orleans has really taken this over, and it's become popularised by, Princess and the Frog and Jon Favreau's chef. But great films. I'm going to probably watch Princess and the Frog later. Oh, yeah. Right, let's get started. It's really quite simple. You just got to start off with your basic yeasty goodness. I don't want to call it that, but we're going to call it yeasty goodness. Right, so just a few teaspoons, tablespoons of your dry yeast. Get all that yeast involved. I think I'll put this up with measurements. I'm just doing it by eye as ever and hoping for the best. But then just sugar. I'll stick more in the actual batter later. This is just to help feed your yeast. And then you want warm water. You don't want cold water because the yeast doesn't do anything, and you don't want boiling water because it'll kill your yeast. So just nice, lovely warm water. Just let that sit for it by itself for a little bit, just until the yeast starts acting. So we'll do, give it a little whiz, help it along. Beautiful. Delicious. Right, for the rest of it now. Your bowl, your eggs. A couple of eggs in this bad boy. And just want to beat them until they're smooth. Well, smooth enough anyway. Start putting your vanilla flavouring in now as well. Open the bloody bottle. That might have been too much, but it's fine. Bit of flavour never hurt anyone, did it? That for flavour. And then you add in evaporated milk. First time I made this, I just did it with Oatly. If you want to try and keep it as close to a vegan recipe as you can. But then I came across this recipe that used evaporated milk and wanted to give it a go. See if it makes a difference, I guess. And then just make sure it's all nice and mixed together. Right, next up is your bread flour. Again, you can use normal flour for this. I did for the first one, but then on this new recipe it said bread flour, and I had bread flour in and not normal flour. I think it'll work the same way. And then just start adding that in now. Give it a little mix. Snap that off, it's not really getting me anywhere, is it? Now, you want it to be smoothed out by the end, but you still want it to be a little bit sticky. Just by the time you're finished with all the adding of this these bits and bobs. Right, next bit, you just want to add a little pinch of salt. Not too much, because obviously it's this sweet thing, just enough to make a difference, whatever that difference may be. Some butter, which I probably should have let soften a little bit more, but fingers crossed this melts together in here. We'll make it work. We'll make it work, people. We will. Now, the important thing about measuring things out is you know how much you're actually going to be able to make, because at the moment this batter is already quite a lot. And we're going to leave this to rise for a couple of hours with the yeast in it. And you want it from where you end up finishing to probably about double up in size. I'm only going to leave it for about 2-3 hours, but you can leave it in the fridge overnight and get back to it tomorrow. You can actually as well, don't even bother letting it rise, just let it sit for 10 minutes and fry it off then. You don't get the same texture with the final beignet, they still taste damn good. So if you want to make these, but you can't be arsed waiting 3 hours or so, you can just do it straight away. Right, it's only not been 10 minutes yet, but we'll add this in now, just so I can figure out where I am with things. This point I'm going to add more sugar as well. And now, because someone's put too much water in it, a hell of a lot more flour. If you've got a stand mixer, stick it in the stand mixer, because it's already getting tedious, this. Actually it's not, ignore that. It's not getting tedious, it's fun, it's enjoyable. You're gonna get some sweet, scrummy treats at the end of this. So don't do, it's not tedious, work with it. Let's see, can we get a nice muscular shot? I'll zoom in if there's muscles on this. Yeah, look at that bicep. Oh yeah. If there's not muscles on this, you won't be getting the zoom in. Let's see. Maybe a dash more. And then I'm going to work it by hand, just so I can start to really bring everything together a bit more. And this is where it gets sticky. If you're looking for other videos where I get sticky, subscribe to my OnlyFans. Oh, you idiot, why have you done that? Oh, stupid boy. Fire up your surface a little bit. say that will do. Right. Smooth enough. Certainly sticky enough. And that's it, that's all you need to do. Just wrap it up with cling film and then stick it in your fridge for anywhere between 2 to 24 hours, I guess. See you in a few. Alright, we're back. I think it's risen enough. All I've done to prep for the next bit is filling pan with oil about a third of the way, just because you're going to be frying it, it's basically just going up. And then 2 plates ready, one with a tea towel on just to get rid of the excess oil, and then one covered in ice and sugar. So first, we want to roll this bad boy out. And you want it probably a 1/4 inch thick, I'd say. Whilst we're doing that, should get the oil heated up. Hope you did something useful with that time while you're waiting for this to sort itself out. I had a very nice nap. The dissertation can wait. Now I've realised that whilst bread flour is good for this, this is wholemeal bread flour, so it's not going to have the same taste as it should do. But we'll give it a go. We'll see how this goes along. Save that bit. Sort that out in a second. Right, let's take a couple of minutes for your oil to actually heat up to temperature. I don't have a thermometer, but if you do, then you want to do it properly. I think it's 180 degrees you want to get the oil to. But don't take that as low, I guess. We'll see how it goes. So whilst we're waiting, I'll start dividing this up. You can feel the heat. Feel the heat of the tangerine. Oh yeah. Good way to test if your oil's ready. Just get a little bit of your dough dropped in, and if it starts to fry, it's obviously ready. You'll know if it's frying because it'll start to bubble and rise to the top as well. Right, I think this is about ready, so we'll try the first one. So all you need to do, you can use your spatula to drop it in, but I like to challenge like a fear. So once that oil's actually at the temperature it needs to be, that one wasn't tiddly, you only need to leave it in for about 3 or 4 minutes. Turn it once if you haven't got it fully submerged, and that'll do it really. Right, and once the oil's off them a bit, onto the ice and sugar, sorry, and then just cover them a bit more. Right, and you kind of almost want to be silly with the amount of ice and sugar you stick on. They're They're fairly, arguably flavourless without it, even with that viola in there. So it's just a nice little thing to add. That's not bad at all. Yeah, so you obviously, well, you see this best. You obviously want it to rise, you want that air to be in there. I'm happy, there nice. There we go, oh there we go, we're getting the colour there. Perfect, see that? This one. Bad boy closest to you. Well, closest to you on this camera anyway. That's the colour we want. It was a good lad. I take back what I said before about definitely don't do it with wholemeal, because they're not bad, they are still very nice, but like I say, you do still get that little bit more graininess as you would with like a wholemeal bread. But they're still good, and they're still covered in sugar, and they're still probably awful for you. So we're in lockdown, have 14. And there we have it. Beignets. Named so because you go yay when you eat them. More.